Hello and welcome again to the industrial classroom. We are here again back with a new topic of conveyor belts, that is the cold joint of conveyor belts. Now before we start with the cold joint, in the previous module we learnt about the fabric conveyor belts, right? Here we discussed about the types of the Okay, here we read about the fabric conveyor belts. Okay, we also learned that in fabric conveyor belt there are certain plies or the carcass which we call. You can just recall from these images. It will help you in understanding where we do the cold joints. Okay, in the fabric belts. So this is the top cover or the cover rubber, and this one is the cover rubber. This one here is the bottom cover, and between these we have a carcass or n number of plies, which we might say. Let me show you. Okay, if you can see, these are all the plies. Here we can see that single, one, two, three, four. Here we have five plies. Okay, if we count from here, one, two, three, four, five. Five lines means five plies. Okay, between them there is intermediate rubber. So whenever there is a joint, we go for either. We have two options: either we go for the hot joint option or we go for the cold joint option. There are certain advantages and disadvantages. See, for hot joint, whenever we go, generally we see what is the condition. For longer belts we need higher rate of tension, okay, a higher strength, or heavy loaded belts we go for this. For in case of cold joints, where we do whenever we have lower loads or whenever there is no such requirement of higher temperature. Okay, and in case we have we also go when there is short duration. Okay, means the repairing time is very less. Here hot joint, it takes generally 8 hours for a belt of 1200 or 1000, so it takes around 6 to 8 hours. For a cold joint, the process can be completed within 3 to 4 hours. It all depends on the skill. So, leaving such details apart, let us now know that for before starting the cold joint, we have to first see the belt preparation. See, whenever we are doing the joint, the first thing is handling of the belt. Okay, so we must ensure that if this is the head pulley and this is my tail pulley, we must ensure that the belt is in the center, right? We must ensure the belt is, if this is the conveyor belt, we must ensure that belt is in the center. That is, the distance between the distance of the pulley faces on both sides must be same, because in such cases wherever the belt is offset in one side and offset in this side, so it will generally lead to belt sway. Okay, this is a very bigger abnormality in case of longer belts. Remember that sway can be due to some operational factors, so we cannot neglect this, but we can look into this condition. First thing. Second, we have to observe. Let me check this where the slide went. Okay, so this one. The first thing is then pull the belt ends together. Okay, so if this is the one end, this is the second end, we need to bring them together. So one end will overlap with the other end. This is the initial condition where the belt must be kept for joint. Okay, so the two ends, if this is the head pulley, this is the tail pulley, so this belt and this belt, they must have some overlap portion. You can see, because we will look how much overlap is required. Next, the clamping is necessary. See, this is the clamp. What we know, it is the belt clamp. So clamping of both the joints. Where do we clamp? Where do we provide the clamp? See, one clamp is provided on this side, one clamp is on this side. This is to enable that the belt does not sleeve away or move away due to the counterweight or something. Okay, so to ensure that the belt does not move away and is locked in a position, we use belt clamps. Next thing is to ensure that the belt ends are square or 90-degree to the belt. A very important thing. So let me just bring a new slide here. So whenever we are looking at the belt, okay, now if this is my belt, if this is one end of my belt, okay, we must ensure that this angle must always be 90 degree. That is the belt edge, this is the belt edge, okay, and this is the end of the belt. The end of the belt must be 90 degree with the belt edge. In case whenever the belt edge is damaged, for belt end is damaged, okay, so here we cannot do the joint. First we have to cut it at 90 degree. How to ensure this is 90 degree? How do we do that in the field? Okay, whenever we do the joint in industry, what we do, that first is to mark some equidistance. So let us consider, I will leave some space from here. Understand it, this is very important. Okay, so I will leave some space and then generally I will mark a point. It will be a straight line or different. Consider that the belt edge is new. You have to first think that the belt edge is straight. The belt edge needs to be straight. Okay, the belt edge is straight, this one, so we have to make 90 degree here. What I will do, that I will mark some distance. So this is, let us consider this is the first marking. Next at 500 mm, I will do another marking. Next at another 500 mm, I will do another marking. So this is 0.5 meter, this is 0.5 meter. Now, if this at a some distance greater than 500, okay, I will draw an arc from this point, an arc from this point. Okay, so drawing an arc, this gives the second point. So my first point will be, this one is the first point and this is my second point. So now I will draw a straight line joining this point. Okay, now I arc is drawn. Let me change the color to someone which we can differentiate easily. Okay, so this is the first point, this is the second point, and I will join it. After joining it, it becomes a perfect 90 degree. This is the industrial method that we do. And also if you have a square edge, okay, you can do a 90 degree edge bar, a 90 degree edge or a square edge, you can do it with it also. Okay, or what we call it a tri square. Okay, you can do it with you can do with the equipment also, but if don't have the equipment, then with a thread only you can mark 3 points. But both must be equidistance. Now 3 points and draw an arc with the thread, a longer arc, the portion of the intersection of the arc, which I you might say. So this is the point, I have taken a thread and marked here. This is the point, I have taken a thread and marked here, and this is the point, so I will join it. So you I think you have understood it. This is the entire process of the belt, of the marking. So we have done all of these things. Next thing is to do proper alignment. Remember, we have checked the alignment at the pulley sides. Now here, this is my belt 1. I have already cut it to 90 degree. This is belt 2. Okay, and here I have clamped them. These are the clamps. Okay, so the belt would not go away. Let us consider these are my clamps. Okay, understand the concept, not properly the drawing, because I am seeing this drawing in a freehand sketch. It might be a bit. Okay, now let us how to draw, how to ensure that these belt are straight, these both pieces are straight. Now to ensure it, what I will do, at every 1 meter, okay, at 1 meter from the edge, for example, let us take from here, I will take 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter. This is my 3 meter, this is 1 meter, this is 1 meter, this is 1 meter. And from the same edge, since I have done 90 degrees, so from the same edge I will again take 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter. This is my distance. Similarly with the second belt, I will cut 1 meter, okay, 1 meter, understand how I am aligning the belt. Look at it. It is a very important point. These are all practical things which we do in the industry, right? Now, to it, let me judge the color. From this end, I will draw this type of diagonal crosses, right? I am joining this. See, this I have done in the first end. In the second end from the edge, I will similarly, and these are all done with threads. Okay, the threads which have a chalk marking on it, we generally get it in the industry. Okay, so with chalks, a thread is attached and pulled, and the thread comes back, returns, providing a marking. Okay, so on both the sides, from this side on and this side, a thread is very tightly placed and it has chalk marking. Right, on the thread we put a chalk impression. Then what we do at the center, we pull the thread upwards, and when it is released, it provides an impression. Right. So now these are the markings I have got. Now what I will do, I will just place my thread here and one side here, and then I will again draw a line. So this comes my center. Remember that for center we have to do, and this is a very important point. Otherwise, in the joint area, you might feel that there is a heavy belt sway in one direction. So this is a very important point to consider, that the belt is perfectly aligned. Now my belt is aligned. Everything I have done. Now what I will do, that I will do the splicing. Okay, I will do the splicing. Splicing means I will do the skiving, what we say. So this is the belt. Now we have to remove one steps. Okay, in the previous process we learned that in case of belt, what we do on one side, we do these type of steps. Okay, this is top rubber with ply, then this is the second ply, then this is the third ply with bottom rubber. Let us consider this is just a, and on the other end we will again draw a step. This is the top rubber with ply, this is the second rubber, third rubber, and this is the bottom rubber with ply. So this is the perfect arrangement of what we will make in the belt. Let us come now. Remember, for the step length, okay, so in this belt what we will do is, we have done the alignment perfect. We are now ready with the belt joint. So let me remove this everything. Now how do we join? Do we make them? Remember that the picture here is just for reference, and it is already overlap position. Okay, it is overlap. Imagine that the belts are not uh, kept face to face, but they are overlapped now. Okay, for alignment process, what we generally do is we pull the back belt a little back so that they come face to face, and then we do the alignment. But after that, again, remember that these are in overlap position, because we require a certain overlap to do the joint. We cannot just weld the parts, right? Here we, now this is my belt. Okay, removing everything here. See, now this is my new belt. Are you confused that this is the belt clamp? I am marking it yellow. Done. Now this is my belt. Remember that in belt we generally have some bias. We don't join them by making them splices in a right angle. Okay, we make some angular joint. The first reason to make it in bias, or cut the belt in to make the joint portion in some angle. The first reason, sorry, my health is not okay. So okay, in the first reason why we made it an angle is to increase the surface area, or the area of contact. And the second reason is, whenever the belt will come over the pulley, the entire joint surface will not come on together. First this portion will come, then whenever it will run over the pulley, it will go from one edge to other edge. Okay, so it provides a better life to the belt, right? So it does not damage the entire belt or the joint portion. It provides a better life to the belt. Therefore, whenever we do, we generally have two standard bias angles, what we call, remember, bias angles. What are these? There is 0.3 and 0.4. What are these? This is 0.3 and 0.4. Let us consider this belt, let its width be 1000 mm. Okay, the width is 1000 mm. Now what I will do, that 1000 mm, 0.3 bias, 0.3 bias is equal to 0.3 into width, or the width is 0.3 into 1000. Here we will come 300. So if we consider this as the first point, on the other side we will consider a gap of 300, the position placed here, and this 300 is my angle. Remember, for 0.4 bias, what we will do, 0.4 into belt width, which is equal to 0.4 into 1000 is equal to 400. So what we will do, if this is the angle, if this is the belt, this is 1000 and it is the first point, then outer distance and the other end I will take offset of 400 mm and I will mark a point from here to here and then join the both ends. So this is the bias angle. If this is 1200, if this is 1200, we will make it 0.3 into 1200, that will be 360. So here the marking will be 360 and then joining the mark. Remember, so this is a very important concept which no one explains. So remember that you need to understand. This is the image. You may see here that the belt, okay, the belt here is kept and this is the angle. Check, this is the angle, this is the straight line. Okay, this is the straight line and this is an angle made. So this is the bias angle. Okay, this is the bias angle. Now what is the step length? Let me create a new slide here to, okay, we are going into very much detail, remember. So this is the step length. So consider this is my belt. I am consider one end first. Okay, on the other end we also have the same type of measurement but in the opposite side, because in one end we see that we do splicing. If this is the top, if this is the bottom splicing, because the spliced portion is in the bottom side and this is the top splicing, since the spliced portion is in the top side. Okay, so there are two types of splicing, bottom splicing and top splicing. If you have any doubts, you may just put them in the comment section and we would try to clear them, right? Okay, done. So this is the belt. We have taken 0.3 bias. Let us consider this is of 1000 mm width. So here the gap is maintained 300. Then this is the bias angle I have put. After, now what will be the step length? What will be the step length? See, the step length, that is the length of the joint area, which we will generally consider. Okay, the step length is the length or the joint length. First we will learn about the joint length. For the joint length, the length of the joint we have to make to ensure that this belt doesn't fail, to see that there is enough contact. Okay, we generally can't make a small joint area, the belt will snap, or we won't make a larger joint area, because remember that the larger the joint, the more heavier the task, the wastage of the solution, the wastage of the rubber, and it will also lead to a more surface area wherever there will be moisture contact, there can be ingression of dust. So remember that we need to have a perfect step length, and this is generally provided in the manufacturer's guide. In the manufacturer's guidebook or data book, from the belt you have, for the belt which you have procured from the manufacturer, they provide the step length area. But remember, if you don't have this guidebook, then I am stating you a simple thumb rule, a rule of thumb. So what is this thumb rule? This thumb rule states that for knowing the joint length, you must have the specification of the belt. Okay, specification of the belt. So we have learned in the first class, I remember we have learned that the we need to know the specification of the belt. For example, if we have, okay, 1000 ep 800 by 3, okay, then we have 8 by 3 m24 or SAR, anything. So here which one is the rating? This is the rating, 800 by 3. Okay, so 800 is the strength tensile strength, and 3 is the number of plies. So this is the rating. In any, for example, if I have 1200 EP 1250 by 4, okay, and 8 by 5 or 10 by 6, you can consider M24. So this here, it is the rating. So what does the rule of the thumb rule say? For the rating, we have to first calculate 800 by 3. Okay, what is this? What is the approx value of it? Remember, 3 divided by 80, here we get 250 or 26, 78, 78, then 20, here 6. I suppose I am right, 266 something, 266 point something. So we need to make a step. This is the value, minimum value. But for cold joint, we generally take it a little larger. We take 300. 300 is one step length. One step length. Now I will explain what is the step length and what is the joint length. See, this is the one step length. Now let me consider 1250 by 4. 1250 by 4, we say 3 and 1, 2 point something, 312 point something. Here we take nearly 50 or 100. Okay, so generally we don't risk it, we take 350. We have to increase, not decrease. If this is 312, we go to approaching 50 or 100. Okay, so 266, 250 will be less, so we cannot use it. We go to the higher side, that is 300. This is the safer limit. Okay, so now how many steps we have to make? Okay, in 3 plies we will make 2 steps. In 4 plies we will make 3 steps. Remember, the number of steps of joint will be equal to number of ply minus 1. There is a reason to it. See, if this is the top cover and 1 ply is here, now I am drawing the second ply here and my third ply here with the bottom cover. See, we cannot generally remove this single ply, single rubber and keep a single ply and make a step. You cannot, because the rubber will get tear, remember. So every time whenever we have it, we generally have a ply attached to some rubber. This is the second ply, this is the third ply. Okay, so top cover, bottom cover. Here you see that step, 1 step, 2 step in case of 3 plies. In 4 plies, so this is the ply, this is the ply, this is the ply, this is the ply. Above it we have, this is top cover, we have bottom cover. See the number of steps, 1 step, 2 step, 3 step. You cannot see this as the step because it is the bottom cover always, right? We have not made step here. It is the bottom cover of belt, it is the top cover of belt. So 3. So here we have seen that the number of steps will be equal to number of ply minus 1. Now, in case if my rating is 800 by 3, we saw that the step length is equal to 300. 266, we increased it to 300. Now the joint length will be equal to, what will be the number of, for 300 by 800 by 3, what will be the number of steps? Steps will be, see, my ply is 3, so 3 minus 1 equal to 2 steps. So my joint length will be equal to 300 into 2, that is 600. And we generally create we don't create channels here, so 600, right? 1250 by 4, we know that the step length here was 350. Number of steps will be equal to 4 plies. 4 means 4 minus 1, that is equal to 3 steps. So joint length is equal to 3 step into 350, it is equal to 1050 mm or 1.05 meter, right? So now we have reached a perfect point where we can decide. Okay, this is the length which we have. So this is, my specification is 1800 by 3. So now from here I will take again 300 because each step length is 300. We learned in the previous. If you don't remember it, you can just go a bit forward and learn it. 300, 300, 200, 2 steps we made, Okay, 300, 300. So the step length here is 300 and this is the joint length. This is the joint length. And what is the step length? This. This is the step length. Okay, now we will do the splicing, or we will remove the parts. See, this is the spliced end. If you can see it properly, then you can see that here there is top splicing, that is the top cover is being spliced. Okay, so this is one step made, this is one step made, and this is one step made. Here also you can see there is a mirror image. Okay, a mirror image splicing. So these are all steps made here. Why there is mirror image? Remember, so how these splicings are made, first we will learn. Okay, so this is the belt and this is the belt. Okay, this splicing is here done in the bottom side, the splicing is done here in the top side. Okay, splicing is done. What we have done the markings here in this picture. You can see that if we have done marking in the top side here, we will mark this in the bottom side of this here. Okay, so whatever we do generally to get an overall impression, the people what they do is we do the splicing of this very easily. Okay, so this I am drawing a 3D view, and for this also you can do these splicings. So this is the my ply area. Before doing this splicing, remember that after doing the we have now what we will do, that this is my simple belt. I have done the markings here. Okay, this I have marked. Now I will remove the first cover with a single ply with a knife. From this edge I will start and then cut with the knife. Then what I will do with this frog clamp or a puller, we can generally with the clamp we will pull it a little bit and we will attach it to this frog clamp. Okay, the edge, whenever we will attach this tiered portion with the frog clamp, and then what we will do, we will pull it with the trifor. Okay, this is the trifor, or in India we generally call it hook chook. Okay, and then this lever will be used to pull this frog clamp, and then a single step will tear off. This is the first step being made. Okay, so now my this step is made. Next, on the mark side, as I have the markings, okay, in chalk I have drawn them, and then I will pull this one, this edge, right? I will pull this edge, cut this edge. The first step is gone, so I will just remove the first edge. Okay, the first one is gone. Now I will have the second stage. I will pull this corner and remove it with the frog clamp again. Now this stage is also gone. So I have the first stage gone, next stage is also gone. So in this case we have two stages, so two stages are made. If we have another ply, then we will again pull this from this corner and the third stage will also be gone. Then we will do a chalk marking on these on all of these edges, and we will just put this belt over here. Okay, this is to get an idea that the point of junctions where we will where the point of junctions will fall. Next we will again do the marking and again do the splicing of this end of the bottom side. Okay, now we have done the splicing. After splicing, what we will do, that we will put a ply board. Okay, what we will do, that we will put a plyboard, an wooden plyboard, and then over this we will place the belt, and then the second belt, let me just change the color. So this one is the plyboard, this is the first belt, and then the second belt will you put overlap. Remember that the alignment must be maintained. Now what I will do is I will put some nuts on it. I will just hammer some nuts so that the belt does not move, because after that I will do the buffing. Okay, on this ply we need to remove the old skim rubber or the intermediate rubber or the sticky surface and bring a fresh surface. So what I will do with the buffing machine, I will just buff the I will just buff this surface. Okay, remember that buff them very lightly, don't buff the plies. Okay, so we will bring rubber surface. Next we will use a cold joint solution. These are some of the very specific cold joint solutions we use: TC310 and W101, OM 2000. There are also various available in the market. Now there is some mixing. For example, for every 100:5 ratio, this is the solution, this is the solution, and this is the hardener. Okay, adhesive and hardener are mixed. The solvent and hardener are mixed to create a solution. So in this ratio, generally look to the specific manufacturer's guidebook because they already mention it. But before me, let me just check if I have enough. Just a minute, friends. Okay, so the solution is mixed, and do not always empty them in the same, means do not always use the full bottle here. Use a spare can here. Put as many solution as solvent as required, adhesive as required, then put the hardener, then provide, and then do mix it properly. To always check that the mixture must be homogeneous. Okay, that they must be uniformly mixed, and not there must not be bulky particles, because it will lead to failure of the joint. Okay, mix only required quantity, and remember that this mixture must be used within 2 to 4 hours. That is the pot life of the solution. You will have it in the mixtures guidebook. Now see, we have what we have done, that we have used a wooden ply, and these are generally marked with some, we have put some pins so that the before putting the solution, the alignment does not move or the belt does not move away. We have done the buffing. Now we will first provide first layer of solution evenly on all of the surfaces, meeting surface. Okay, on this side as well as on the opposite side of the belt also. Okay, so if this is the top cover, and in the bottom side also. So let me show you with some diagram. So I have done that. This is the spliced portion of first belt, and this is the spliced portion of the second belt. So here I will put the solution, here I will put the solution. In this side, here I will put the solution, here I will put the solution. Okay, the solution is, the first coat is applied, we will wait it to dry, then second coat will be applied, and it will also dry in 20 minutes approximately. Then third coat is applied, a very fine coat. A very fine coat is applied if required. Although second coat is very necessary, second coat is also sufficient, but if required you can provide a very fine coat. Second coat whenever is applied, provide proper tack time. And remember, what is the tacky? See, the solution must not be completely dry or completely wet. It must be tacky. That is, whenever you put your finger on it, whenever you put your finger on the surface and just press the belt. Okay, for example, I have put solution here, and this is my finger. This is my finger. I will press on this belt. So what will you will feel tacky solution. It must not stick, but it must feel that it is just pulling it. Okay, your finger must be pulled. So this is the tacky situation. Remember, now what you will do after the tacky, you just need to overlap the belt edges. For example, here you have put this belt here, just need to overlap them. Okay, from one edge. So start from here, and then you press on, go and press this fine one from one side. Assemble plies. Okay, then roll each ply with stitching roller. Then what you will do, after this there will be a stitching roller. This is the some roller type of device you might find in the industry, and just what you will do, from one side you go and keep on pressing this with the roller. Okay, like in the tempered glass what we do in the mobile phones, you might see in a mobile repair shop. So for pushing one end. Okay, so now these both pieces will be joined. Then use hand pressure and mallet. Start from one end, and with the mallet beat on every surface. Remember, if this is the surface, the mallet must touch each point. Start from one point and go to, start from one side and go to the final edge, and then the edge. So this is done. Cure it, cure the belt. Do not go and just now uncover all the things and leave the belt. Don't do it. Allow some time to rest, because allow at least 2 hours. Okay, if it is smaller conveyor, then you may, but remember that 2 to 3 hours is required. So it the process will be completed, because whenever the belt joint is made, for example, now think the belt has been overlapped. See, this is the joint portion, this is the joint portion, the belt has been overlapped. Now they will go and do the unclamp clamp, they will remove the clamp, they will count, they will then again provide the counterweight. All of these things take time. Okay, so take take some time, and do not tension this belt together or rotate the belt during curing. Allow some time. If you cannot provide 2 to 3 hours, if this is cold joint, then you can generally provide 1 hour of time and then provide tensioning. Okay, but before providing tensioning, remove the all the bolts, all the nuts that you have fixed. Okay, all the pins you have fixed, remove the bolt and fix on and remove all the solutions. Okay, from the belt space area, clean it. And now what you will do, check that there is no air bubble, the ply steps are correctly overlapped. From the side edge you might find it. Okay, so this must be properly overlapped, there must not be gap, or the plies must not come over. See, for example, this must not be the situation that the plies will come over it. One, it is very poor joint. This is a very good joint, right? Now joint thickness is uniform, and check this, the belt edges are aligned. Now, whenever in cases of belt joint, you might see that the belt edges are generally, if they are formed in such a way, means it happens generally whenever the belt edges are not properly trimmed. So now you can just trim it a slight bit to make it parallel, parallel and straight, right? So this is the entire process of the joint, cold joint. Hope I have explained you everything. So if you like a video, please do like our channel, please do subscribe to our channel, like our video, the industrial classroom. And for support, you may go to this link and provide some support to us. Thank you so much. My health is deteriorating day by day, so I am unable to provide you much content recently, but I will come with some more videos again. And till then, love you, take care of your health, and keep studying properly. Have some queries, to text us in the um, comment section, provide us some support if possible, and live happily. Thank you.